is incoming because now we have game theory in full effect. Russia embracing Bitcoin and crypto mining. I shared that breaking news just the other day. Trump, if he is elected, going to be embracing and stockpiling the Bitcoin. So it's game on, family. Yeah, I mean, pretty late. And checking out some of the live chart action. Let me switch up the scene for you guys to see even cleaner. Should be able to see right about here. Let me know. So yeah, here you can see Bitcoin hovering at around 61,000 live and in the flesh, brought to you via TradingView via Coinbase Exchange. And let's zoom out from the hourly. I'll check out the 4 hour, get some different looks real quick. And I'll share any targets I see here breaking right now. So this is the 4 hour chart. Right now, pretty much sideways action Jackson, no target specifically on the 4 hour. We'll check out the 1 day chart. Again, live and in the flesh. We had a mega green candle yesterday, almost a God candle, and we define God candle as a $10,000 uptick on the daily chart. We had roughly 8,000 before correcting a little, after that. So we were very close, and that means we got the demi-God candle, which is 5,000 or more on a single, daily chart. As you can see, that big, sexy Godzilla green candle. But unfortunately, yesterday was a corrective red, and that's where we're currently at. And there is a target, as you can see, here on the 1 day chart, sitting at $47,700. And now let's zoom out to the weekly, which is one of the most bullish charts in Bitcoin, because we have that sexy cup and handle target still sitting just shy of 126,000. And then we'll zoom out on the monthly, a little broader perspective. They say when in doubt, do zoom out. And as you can see here, a little sideways action on the monthly, but I am hoping for a strong bullish August close. So let me know your thoughts, family. Where do you feel that price action will likely take us next? Holla at your boy. Next story of the day, we got a lot to cover as we always do each and every day. Let's discuss the latest whale activity, eh? Happy SASDAQ Saturday, fam. Bitcoin whales load their bets, 1.7 billion in Bitcoin flow out of the exchanges. That's right, according to the latest on-chain data, significant amounts of the Bitty have moved out of the crypto exchanges. So the question becomes, what does this mean, and how will it affect the Bitty price? Let's discuss it. According to recent data from Into the Block, more than 28,000 Bitties worth $1.7 billion were transferred out of the crypto exchanges in the past week. This on-chain revelation is based on changes in the net flow metric, which monitors the amount of particular crypto sent in and out of centralized exchanges. An increase in the net flow signals that more funds are entering than leaving crypto exchanges. And on the other hand, when the metric's value falls below, it implies that more crypto assets are flowing out than into the trading platforms. And as shown on that chart, we just scroll right through here. The net flows metric for Bitcoin has been on the decline over the past few days, implying that the larger investors have been transferring their assets from centralized exchanges. And according to Into the Block, there's 1.7 billion worth of Bitty withdrawn in the last 7-day period, which is the largest outflow seen within the time frame so far this year in 2024. Nacho keys, nacho coins, nacho keys, nacho cheese. And ultimately what that means is remove your crypto from the exchanges, because if it's not in a self-custody wallet, you don't really own it because you don't control your own private keys, family. So that's the safest thing you can do. The smartest thing is to learn how to properly self-custody your bitties. But although it is difficult to tell the rationale behind the massive exodus, crypto movements of this magnitude away from centralized exchanges typically indicate a shift in investor sentiment. Now, that's right. It suggests a change in holding strategy or even fresh accumulation by the larger investors showing their faith and long-term promise of the Bitcoin. And moreover, the decline in the availability of the premier crypto on the trading platforms could result in a supply crunch. Supply shock, send it. Ultimately, this fall in the Bitcoin exchange reserve may trigger a surge in the Bitcoin price. There's only so many bitties to go around on the exchanges. So another thing to keep in mind, we will have a supply shock, family. It's only a matter of time as the Bitcoin supply continues to dwindle on these exchanges. But here's the deal. Let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss the FTX payback. I believe 12.7 billion about to be repaid, at least according to the headline here, which reads, U.S. court orders bankrupt crypto exchange FTX to pay $12.7 billion to former customers and fraud victims. Damn, that's a lot of money. Jesus Christ. The U.S. court ordered the bankrupt crypto exchange FTX to pay $12.7 billion in monetary relief for customers who suffered losses when the company collapsed back in 2022. How many of you remember that? Let me know. And a new statement from the CFTC says the order requires FTX to pay $8.7 billion in restitution and $4 billion in disgorgement to further compensate those who fell victim to the exchange's fraudulent scheme. Want to know the biggest winner since the collapse of FTX? Lawyers. In December of 2022, the CFTC filed a fraud complaint against FTX, its founder, Bankman-Fried, and former company executives, alleging they misappropriated customer funds for their own use and benefit. You know something that kind of went under the radar? Caroline Ellison, supposed to have had a trial for her sentencing, never heard anything about it since. No updates. So I wonder what really happened behind closed doors. The regulator says that these orders resolve its litigation against the exchange, but notes that the case is still pending for SBF and former FTF executive Caroline Ellison, Gary Wang, and Rashad Singh. And my question is, what about the other Sam that got away with it? And his name was never referenced in any of the lawsuits, which is another mystery. And I'm talking about Sam, I think his last name was like Dabuco or weird. Anyways, he was the one with Katy Perry pictures and pictures on yachts flexing. Kind of ironic that he just disappeared from the case as well. Let me know your thoughts on that mystery. The order also requires FTX and its sister company Alameda to cooperate with the CFTC on its ongoing litigation. CFTC Chairman Rostin Bahena commends the development, but still more needs to be done, quoting him here, as I have been saying for years, this is just the tip of the iceberg. In the absence of the digital asset legislation to fill the regulatory gaps, entities will continue to operate in the shadows without these basic tools of sound regulation, sharpening their deceptive practices, continuing to dupe the customers. How many of you have been duped? Let me know. The CFTC had agreed in a related settlement approved by the Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware not to seek civil monetary penalty against FTX and to subordinate its monetary claims to close of the victims. Now, in May, it was reported FTX bankruptcy estate estimated it would hold between $14.5 billion and $16.3 billion in proceeds by the end of September. Good Lord, so much money missing in action. I just hope those who got taken advantage of, who have their funds on the exchange, get repaid. But I also heard rumors everyone is going to get the fiat equivalent of the Bitcoin price at the bottom when it was like 16 or 17,000. How it should work in a perfect world. If you had one Bitcoin on the exchange of FTX and then they filed for bankruptcy and you never got your Bitcoin and you're waiting, they should return that one Bitcoin. They should return the initial asset you had in the exchange. However, corrupt government, corrupt executives, or whoever you want to blame and point the finger at, they decided to pay you back the price of Bitcoin in fiat dollar terms at the bottom of the cycle. Now, tell me that's not corrupt. Yeah, I mean, now correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding of how it works. That's why you should never keep your Bitcoin on the exchanges and always keep it properly in self-custody. Thank me later. And next, let's dive into the next story. Next story, here's the latest with Kamala Harris. That's right, she's in the headlines today. Harris campaign's crypto reset question amid the Fed crackdown. Question, do you trust this lady? Yay or nay? Let me know in the live chat. I want to know if you trust Ms. Harris when it comes to cryptocurrency in particular. The enforcement action taken by the U.S. Federal Reserve against the crypto-friendly customer bank has sparked speculation that Vice President Kamala Harris' presidential campaign may not be genuine. I'm in shock. In its efforts to mend relations with the crypto industry. Now, on August 9th, Gemini co-founder Winklevoss twin Tyler took to X to highlight the Fed's actions. Quoting him here, today, the Fed confirmed that Operation Choke Point 2.0 remains in full swing, provided valuable insight into how it works, and verified that the Harris crypto reset is a scam. And I agree 100% with the Winklevoss. Let me know your thoughts. And shout out to McFoofinator. He just became a member of the Huddle Gang for the next 5 months. Greatly appreciate your support, loyalty, dedication to the screen thing. Let's go. So yeah, so check it. The Fed's 13-page enforcement action against customer bank mandates it to provide a 30-day advance notice for entering any new banking relationship with a crypto company. So, Kamala, just like Joe Biden, represents the central banking cartel, so I am not surprised or shocked by this. Regardless of what they say, you gotta follow the actions of what they actually do. Winklevoss highlighted the broader implications of the enforcement action, stating Customer Bank is one of the few remaining crypto-friendly banks in the United States. He said that the Federal Reserve is now controlling access to banking services for crypto companies, essentially deciding who can and cannot open a bank account, thereby limiting their ability operate. As Tyler Winklevoss points out right here in the headline, today the Fed confirmed Operation Bitcoin 2.0 remains full swing, provided valuable insight how to it works, and we all know anything coming from them is always a scam. He criticized the centralization of decision-making power within the Fed, arguing such decisions should be decentralized across the banking industry and at each bank's discretion to be made. Now, Hoskinson joins the Winklevoss twins. What about the Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson? He echoed the sentiment that the U.S. currently is hostile towards the crypto industry, meaning the current administration, the Dems. Hoskinson believes that Biden's admin. And this stance has not changed. He warns that voting for Harris would harm the United States crypto industry. Fact, that's fact. Implying that she would continue this perceived war on crypto 110%. There isn't a iota percentage fraction of her embracing Bitcoin when her controllers and her puppet masters are anti-motherfucking Bitcoin. Let that sink through your head, family. In a letter sent to the Democratic National Committee, Chairman Jamie Harrison, July, a group of the U.S. lawmakers and congressional candidates of various districts called on party leaders to adopt a progressive stance on digital assets and blockchain tech. But between March and August of last year, 2023, the U.S. banking sector faced a tumultuous period marked by the downfall of several banks. The regional banking crisis that catered to crypto businesses. This was an attack on crypto, clearly, including Silvergate Bank, Signature Bank, the Silicon Valley Bank. Enemies of Bitcoin do not trust them, including JP Morgan Chase's CEO, Jamie Dimon. So yeah, this headline reads, Bitcoin primed to break out and explode by up to 86%, according to analyst So here is his timeline. He shares on YouTube that Bitcoin has formed a bullish divergence pattern on the daily chart. A bullish divergence occurs when the price of an asset is trading down or sideways, while an oscillator such as the momentum indicator, relative strength index, better known as the RSI, is in yes. It signals suggest that the bullish momentum is on the up and up. According to Frenson here, we got actually a slightly higher low in the RSI. You could also call it flat support, horizontal support, and upon that flat support, we have lower lows in the price. That is a bullish divergence. So, what is happening on the Bitcoin chart? Well, what we see is a broadening pattern of sorts. Lower highs, but even lower lows. It's outlined right here. Now, a broadening pattern is a technical formation that can be viewed as a bullish continuation pattern if the asset manages to take out its diagonal resistance. Svensson says the Bitcoin price can skyrocket by 60% from the current levels if Bitcoin rallies above the pattern's resistance at around 68 G's, baby. I'm putting him here alongside the chart, going from a low of around 49,000 to the potential breakout zone at around 68 G's, and then you look for a target using that. That actually lands us towards $97,000. So that is the target of this pattern. And you can see me doing some wax on, wax off. I have an insane amount of gnats flying too close to my airspace, which I refer to as my mouth, and yesterday I swallowed a few of those suckers trying to avoid it. Using the Fibonacci extension tool, the analyst says that 88,000 and 113,000 for Bitcoin are the two other targets in its sights, representing potential gains of 45 and 86%. Respectively. And on when Bitcoin can reach these particular price targets, here's what the analyst has to share. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It is going to take quite some time for this to play out fully. Price may actually end up, squeezing into this range between 49 and 70,000, chopping around for quite a while before getting the breakout. That breakout can take place in September, which is next month, right around the corner, 3 weeks out. But let me know your thoughts, family. Do you agree with Gavin Svensson? Do you believe we can hit this massive target? Eventually, 88 G's, the all-time high, 113,000, and as high as I think he pointed out, what do you say, 119,000. Let me know your thoughts, family. I'm going to read those comments out loud before we dive into our featured story of the day. So now for our featured story of the day, Bitcoin bounces back after the market jitters, with Arthur Hayes forecasting a $1 million Bitcoin price projection, particularly for this cycle. So send it, let's freaking go, yo! So, as you can see, the price of Bitcoin briefly jumped above 62 G's, baby. Friday morning, which marked an upturn for Bitcoin because it just plunged to 49,000 the day before. And as I've been saying, family, expect extreme volatility post-halving, because we always have extreme volatility. In fact, we went from almost 70 during a pump watch 2 weeks ago on our freaking live stream to all the way down to 49 and then right back to 62. Crazy, right? The surge of the Bitcoin performance was owed to the better than expected U.S. unemployment insurance figures that were released last week. According to the U.S. Labor Department, last week saw